Hey, it's Bob Nagin, and today you're going to learn about a productivity system that, if you choose to use it, I guarantee will rock your world. It's called the Retailer's Time System. I developed the Retailer's Time System when I owned the Mackinac Kite Company because I was so incredibly frustrated that there were all of these things that I knew needed to get done that weren't getting done. That I had projects like building a training program, like building a marketing plan, being more intentional with my hiring and training and all of these things. You know what you need to do, and you know the things that you need to do that aren't getting done because your time is getting chipped away at, that you're losing your time to death by 1,000 cuts. And that's what was happening with me. Every day I would come in with the best of intentions to get important work done, and then the day just got sucked out of me. I would go home and I would be exhausted from working hard, but I would also be frustrated because the important things weren't getting done. And the days became weeks, and the weeks became months, and the months became years, and these things weren't getting done. But most importantly, I was frustrated because I knew I could do better. I knew that this life of stress was not the best life for me or my business. So I decided to get serious, and I created the Retailer's Time System. Now, the Retailer's Time System was originally 3 F's, 3 kinds of time, but then several years into it, I created a 4th F, which you're going to learn about here in just a moment also. So the first kind of time, the first F, is what I call flex time. And flex time is when you're multitasking. And when I speak live and I talk about the Retailer's Time System, I say, how many of you are multitaskers? And most of the room raises their hand. I know I would have raised my hand, but the problem with multitasking is that it's an incredibly inefficient way for you to make real progress on the things that need to be done. Yes, you're a retailer. There's always going to be distractions. There's always going to be interruptions, but the name of the game is to diminish them as efficiently and as effectively and as intentionally as possible. So flex time is when you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. And so you're never going to, like I said, you're never going to get rid of it, but you want to diminish the amount of time you multitask by being intentional and proactive about the other 3 F's. So the second F is called floor time. Now, here's my story. I would come on and I would be on the schedule, but because I had other things to do, multitasking, if it got slow, I'd go to the office and work on the schedule. And then if it got busy, they'd call me back. And then if it got slow, I'd go back and work on the schedule again for a second. And then if a vendor called, I'd go off the floor, right? So the whole day got pulled here, there, and everywhere. And what happened was I wasn't getting things done, and I wasn't having any fun when I was on the floor because there was always something else on my shoulder, on my back that needed to get done. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to schedule your time on the floor time. And when you schedule yourself on the floor, stay on the floor. Don't take calls from vendors. Don't go and work on something in your office the minute it gets slow. Be present. Be present with your customers when you're working with them. Be present with your team when you have that opportunity. But be present. Be there. have fun. You know, I was in the toy business, and once I decided to schedule my floor time and treat my floor time the way I just described, wow, my life became so much more fun. I was in the toy business. I was no longer distracted. I was selling toys to kids, parents, grandparents. It was a beautiful thing. So I'm suggesting to you that you figure out the proportions, but schedule your floor time and be there and be present. And by the way, when you schedule your floor time, let's say you need 5 coverage on a Saturday. It's not 5 plus you, it's 5 and you are one of the 5. Be there on the floor, be present. The second of those 3 is focus time. And focus time is when you work on the important things with focus. So there's actually 2 types of focus time. One is sort of the day-to-day tasks that if you sit down and you do them with focus, uninterrupted time, you'll get it done so much more efficiently. That could be things like ordering or writing the schedule or talking to your vendors, taking care of emails. But instead of doing it in multitasking, you're doing it in one batch. All of the work that you have to do is in one batch, and that's valuable. Doing it in focus time makes it much more efficient, so you can use that time someplace else. But here's here's the secret sauce, folks. This is where you make the money, folks. Is focus time is also where you work on important stuff. So if you don't have a written training program yet, or if you don't have a training program on our Brilliance retail training platform yet, you should really, that is something that will be a game changer for you. That's focus time, building a training program. Writing a marketing plan is a focus time activity. Learning is a focus time activity. Learning, if you have the Retail Mastery System and you say, I'm going to spend 20 minutes every day just going through the Retail Mastery System, you will see significant differences in your business in a few short months. I'm looking at all of you and promising you that if you schedule a half a day a week for focus time, a half a day a week working on the things that are truly important to your business, in 6 months, you are going to have an entirely different business. This is one of the most important pieces of advice I can give to you. Focus time. Learn to do the important stuff. Put it on your calendar and make it happen. So do you see, now all of a sudden, if you schedule floor time and focus time, the important stuff is going to get done. You're still going to have flex time. You're still going to need to do some other things. But then there's the final one, and that is free time. And let me tell you a story. Like I said, it was the 3 F's. Somewhere on the internet, there's a video with me with long hair talking about the 3 F's. But then Susan and I joined the Strategic Coach program. And Strategic Coach is a program for entrepreneurs. And our first day in Strategic Coach, they talked about Dan Sullivan's entrepreneurial time system. And it's similar, this idea that you chunk the important activities, but one of their activities were free days. And a free day, according to Dan Sullivan, and this is what I would encourage you to think about, is 24 hours, midnight to midnight, where you don't think about your business, where you don't take texts from your team members, where you don't check your social media account, where you don't look at your email, where you don't read the magazines, the trade mags. You just have time to yourself to do the things that are important for yourself. Now, our coach at Strategic Coach, her name was Mary Miller. We hadn't even met formally yet. But she sees me sitting in the back, and she walked up to me and looked at my name tag and said, "Bob, you look like you're freaking out." And you know why I looked like I was freaking out? Because I was freaking out. The idea of detaching myself from my business for a full day filled me with anxiety. You see, I thought I had made this deal with myself. I'm an entrepreneur. Therefore, I sort of have to always work. Let me give you an example. We used to go out on the long winter break, and when our kids were in school, we'd always go out west skiing. And I'd get up in the morning, I'd check my emails and do my things, and then I would ski for a while. And then at lunch, I'd check my email and do all those long things, and then I would ski for a while. But I never truly got away from it. And that was stretching me way outside of my comfort zone. So anyway, we get home and our kids were, young, 7, 8, 9 years old. I walk in, and the first thing my son Joe does is he asks me, he says, "So Dad, did you learn anything cool? How was it?" He's asking me questions. I love that. And I told him about free days. And he looked me in the face and he says, "Dad, you're always working." He didn't say it with judgment, but it was painful. It was painful. Wasn't the role model I wanted to be. So I started to work on this. And I'm going to look at all of you and tell you that if you're not taking time off, you are not the kind of entrepreneur that you can be. You are not the kind of boss that you should be. You are not the kind of family person you should be. If you're going to be the best version of yourself, you have to take care of yourself. And that means taking time off. Now, I know some people who only work half days and then take longer stretches off. But what I have found, and I've tried it every way from Sunday, is that a full day is the best way for you to refresh yourself, the best way for you to re-energize yourself, the best way to get your energy and your creative juices back. So if you're not taking at least one full day off a week right now, this is your number one action item. So let's go back and sort of recap this. So now what you're doing, what I did, was rather than going into a week and just letting the week pull me into it and let the week dictate what I was going to do, now I was being intentional. So you put the 3 F's on the calendar. You put your day or two off, your free days, on the calendar. You put your focus time, whether it's a half day, 2 half days, a full day, on the calendar. You put your floor time on the calendar. Those times are sacred. The rest of the time can be flex time. But as you get better at managing your time with the retailer's time system, what you're going to find is that it's working. You're getting momentum, and you're going to start to squeeze that flex time off of your calendar. You're going to find yourself becoming much, much, much more productive, which means you're going to be much happier, which means you're going to be a better boss, a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mother. You're going to have a better business. Believe me, the stress that will come off of your plate by using the retailer's time system in your business, it's just amazing. Imagine reducing your stress by 25, 35, 45, 75%. What would that mean to your business and your life? It's all possible. And it's all possible if you make the choice and you make the commitment to using the retailer's time system in your business. If you want to learn more about the retailer's time system, there's information on it in the personal business skills module of your retail mastery system. But I would love to know more about what you do to manage your time or what you think about the retailer's time system. Put them down in the comments below, and we'll see you next week.